Everything. Like right here, I probably got 3 or 4 or 5 sets of the same thing right here, right now. So I know from long time ago they steal. And then you would be left with nothing, but now we got all this. He said, and secondhand information plays rings in the Masjid at the moment. Further information said that the substance, look at here, the suspect is known to have guns, has 2 shotguns in his vehicle, and he drove from D.C. Would you read that right there, just to make sure I'm not mistaken? Right here, information that have guns,
has 2
shotguns
in his vehicle and drove from D.C.
What kind of nigga would tell the police that an African-American male, 6'2", dark-skinned, have 2 shotguns? And he's fighting the police all the time. He's a mean character. The other paperwork says the niggas, Khadijah and Mukhtar, told them that there's a terrorist. By that time, he might have a couple of pictures of me with an Ayatollah or something. This guy, right? Can you imagine when these niggas are brought into court? I'm not going to present a whole lot, I'll just present this. This is what one black man said to the white police in Oakland. That the man in there that owns the property and bought the property and taught there for years and comes back here and pays and takes care of everything, and we don't take care of nothing, has 2 shotguns that he just came from D.C. Then they pull up, there's a D.C. license plate. That's why the police is there with bulletproof vests and helmets on. Because the nigga done told them. Can you imagine? Now this is Islam. And no, guess what? Abdul Malik, none of the niggas, none of the brothers that ever been to the masjid, they all know it's a lie. Ain't none of them said a word. That's what we're checking. That's what why? Haven't nobody in Oakland said not one word about none of this. Grandson getting killed, dogs getting killed, running away with the box, it was a cot box, flattening tires. I mean, I stopped writing the list after a while. I just stopped. This is too much stuff. The people won't believe it. What does it take? You, the person that's dealing with this, have to have a full magazine of patience and love. And they have to have somewhere they're going. They have to have a plan. That's what the plan is, and that's what the plan always has been. Remember, I've mentioned Supreme Court stuff, right? Constitutionally. Let's talk about Americans. Here's the thing, what excludes me from UK. They don't give me no, well, you can come down and protest this, or you can do. With me, they do whatever they want, and it's done. That's what it looks like. Anything you've heard me read, just remember, we are arrested. My wife and I are arrested. They say yes, she had a gun in our purse, and so we took them to rooms. And they don't pat me down. The woman got a gun in her purse. Right? My wife, we together, got a gun in her purse. And they're gonna stroll off to Never Nigger Land, and they're not gonna pat me down. Stop and frisk is 2 years old by then. And the whole airport, see, the people on the plane is watching. That's what they didn't forget. They take me in the room, and they take my wife in another room. When they pull the stuff out on me, I'm gone. Zoop! And tussling with them. So I say, well, I don't know what you're doing with that. But I do know what they're doing. They're fixing to give me a case for smuggling. With my wife now, just take your wife and children, and you a gangster, you gotta take your wife and stuff down in Mexico. You got all tons of runners, all kind of people for that. You don't do that with your wife. But you're going to Mexico, and sometimes it's dangerous, so you have her have a little firecracker just to make noise. If people want to harass a tourist or do something like that, you just run them off. Then what does evidence, I think y'all remember, it says, they book us in jail, then they go back, that's at 2 o'clock, they go back at 6 o'clock in the room my wife was in, they say, now you can't take nobody out of, if you're taking somebody out of a car, you're gonna search that. They didn't say that. They said they booked us, then they came back. And they're gonna give my wife a cage now. Guess what? They found heroin, they found cocaine, and that they had missed before at 6 o'clock. You can't give nobody no case. You can't do it. They did it with me. They did it with her and scared her to death. She said, okay, I'll say, because what'll happen? Well, you can keep your kids. If you don't, we're going to take you to court. I told them, do what you want to do. I'm going anyway. I said, now, the whole family, we can go and stroll off into the big world. But she thought we was going to run around hiding. That's the way the government been treating me for decades. They thought they could do it then. They thought they could do it now. The dope dealing down and all of this is coming to court. I am filing paperwork on the whole thing. But first we're just dealing with the stuff, maybe 9 or 10 cases. Some here, and some in Oakland, a few in LA. But we're dealing with what we got solid paperwork on first. Why? For the people. You know, the landmark case board, Brown versus Board of Education, and Miranda and all that. Okay. America has drifted so far away from freedom, right? Somebody has to help bring it back. Somebody has to remind America what's happened to them. That's what we're doing. Somebody has to remind America, the few old people that remember, you could go to get a Social Security card in the post office. You can take somebody to the passport office and say, I swear he was born. When I got a passport, my first one, that's what you know what I mean? Where does the law come in, like the Germans had, that I'm outside of my house and I have to have an ID on me? Or I walk to the store, I have to be able to ID. That's bull crap. There's none of that in the Constitution. Those are things derived by the states and by the counties that's technically in violation of the Constitution. Okay. We don't believe we can do nothing to fix the Constitution, but call people to men to allow work righteous deeds, right? How are you going to look at America? How are you going to look at the American people? Is it the American people's fault that they're being effed over like they are? It's not their fault. And they're not even conscious of how, you hear some some white folks talk a little bit about how democracy has slipped away. There's no such thing, there's nothing even close to democracy in America. That's what our cases is going to be about. And we had to endure all of this to let it get built up. I don't know how long ago we talked about this stuff. Book of coincidence, book of this, that, grand jury. That's what all this stuff has been about, grand jury. We've been saying what we wanted to say. Not that everybody's going to jump up and listen to it, but we're stating our case and getting it duplicated. In fact, I mentioned to the brother that has those four, three, that if he can download that on, I'll get those, what those little.
You'll have most of your stuff tomorrow. Most of your stuff, you'll have most of your stuff tomorrow. He's got one more DVD that he has to burn, but he got the rest of it already done.
Okay, good. And the stuff will still be on the CD on there. Good. Okay.
You remember when years ago, if you were driving,
Right.
and if a police officer pulled you over,
Right.
the first thing he had to do was tell you why he pulled you over.
Right.
He didn't pull you over and say, "Let me see your license and registration."
Yeah.
He had to tell you why he did it.
License, registration, and insurance.
Yeah.
All of that is derived. And it's hard for a nigga to get licensed. His car ain't gonna be registered because they done messed with him so much. We used to drive clunkers down the street. We had to push him to get started. You didn't have to have all that. We could ride down the street 4 deep, 4 niggas in the car, man, just having a good time, stopping and talking to everybody. You can't do that. You can't. 4 niggas in the car, driving up and down the street, cruising up and down the street. They can go up one time, they might get lucky and get to somewhere they're going, but they can't go up and down all day long. Hey, waving at everybody, windows down. Can't do it. People are so far away from freedom, they don't even, the young people don't know what it is. They don't even know what, now we didn't have freedom at that time, but it was not pure, except in the South. Nazism. Remember all them old movies? What is it? Nazis always ask you, papers, please. And you paranoid. You ain't got the papers. And who ain't got the papers right? The ones that's not with the Nazi regime. Who can't vote? The niggas, because they got old people, didn't even have birth certificates. White people and black people. They didn't have no birth certificate. Everybody was born in the house, and the doctor was born. He might make you a birth certificate out. My birth certificate is from March 7th. I was born on the 22nd. The doctor they took me, they said, look at this baby here. He's born. Would you write a birth? And they said, this in handwriting. The people up in Canada, one guy was called, he said, there's a guy here. It's like I was trying to sneak into Canada, but it was a false birth certificate. It had a state seal on it. This guy here with a handwritten birth certificate. He's a white man born in the city, and he's born in the hospital. You ever been to a modern hospital when a baby is born? They got stuff suck all the snot out their nose, suck all the stuff out their butt. They give it a footprint, give it a social security. I said, damn, because Sakina was born. That's the first time I saw it. I said, how the hell did we make it? I mean, with all this stuff, how was we born? Right? They just slapped a nigga on his behind, and he hollered, and then now if you don't holler, they'll just suck all the snot out of here, start hollering and jumping, and they don't, they'll stick something in him, and he'll get around a minute. Right? How the hell was we born, man? We were some lucky people to make it. I mean, because they got, you see all them gadgets they got? I said, damn. Fatima. I said, they must do that to all the babies. They take a footprint, just fingerprints would be. I mean, when you're born, they got your stuff, DNA, footprints. Yeah.
You know, you go to the bank and you're not a part of the bank, and you cash a check, that's what you got to do. You got to put your thumbprint.
Yeah.
When I hear thumbprints, I think criminal.
Yeah.
And I ain't no criminal, but it's like you got to put your thumbprint up or else you don't get the cash.
Okay, I'll move toward a close in a minute. OPD was dispatched 82. Videotape, 2 shotguns. When officers arrived, they contacted reporting parties. Saquila Mujahid, wife of victim. Mujahid is the victim. She informed officers that Reams has been threatening her via social media, that Reams was founder of Masjid, but has been voted out by the board of directors. Showed the officer a letter that they printed up a letter saying he's voted out. You can't do that nowhere. If this stuff would work, the deacon and the janitor in any church, big as it is, right?
That's all fraud. According to what they say, that's fraud.
Of course it's fraud, but they're doing it anyway. They figured, we keep doing this, nigga gonna crack, this nigga gonna blow. And it didn't happen. Why we put up with it? Because our duty is to help restabilize. There's some good that's in America. It's our job to pull it out. We got 2 choices. We can let it go to root of Babylon, which is going happily and in a hurry. But if Islam rescued us, right, what about the people of America? The people, all of them, Mexicans, Negroes, everybody, white folks. That's why in that opiates, when we was talking about all those articles we read on opiates, we have a history of that. You think the white man didn't hear those lectures? Some white man had heard those lectures, right? Why, if we're expert on this, if we forecasted South Africa, if I'd made the best tour in history, if we have stacks of lectures here on what to do, how to do it, what its effects, right? Why don't nobody invite us nowhere? Why don't nobody even mention it? Their biggest problem, they have somebody with Rauf. I'll show it to you tomorrow. I'm getting it redone right now. Everybody knows success. We participated in the best treatment program probably in the world, done in South Africa. Why do you think they had me travel all around? And I don't know if y'all ever saw that booklet. It's a booklet. Got pictures. Big poster big as a wall down there. Yes, it is. Welcome, Imam, abdul-alim, Musa. Why? The drug treatment. First of all, it's a thanks for what you already done, but we got some youngsters that need to hear the message. So I'm on the road so much I can't get no sleep hardly. Another talk. But happy about it. I said, the newspaper, the doggone newspaper's there. U.S. Imam, great message. Hey man, everybody's happy. When I get to the airport, the white man is mad. Helping them people who trying to kill them. Trying to kill their behind. You hear talking about how to get around it. You'll never come back to our country.
He's what you call the option stopper. He don't want you to have no options except for the one he got.
That's why we gotta work so fast. See, like Dr. King talked about love and all of that, but Islam, the doers, it really softens the heart. But you have to be in it every day, all day. Because every time you hear the radio or you drive down the street, you start getting mad because you see how people are treated. As-Shifa, the cure, we have the cure, so we have to, I believe we should implement it. That's what it's going to be, litigation. Literally everybody. Let me see. The victim's brother, Clarence Reeves Jr., appeared to be living above. The victim said that the door had been kicked in, but nothing had been taken. Reeves Jr. was extremely uncooperative. Then he kicked in the door. Mukhtar handheld the police to go into the, if they did have drugs, if they did have guns, the police have probable cause. They said, we didn't know he didn't have it right, but we acted on good faith. What's the jury going to say? Sure, he's in good faith. I walked in there and the niggas had done, you know. This is a picture. They just put it on the thing again. This is a picture. Y'all, did you see the new thing?
No.
Don't worry about it, Davis. Bob Hoffman says Taylor Bob and talent agent Clarence Reeves. Then they talk about the suit and everything. When we talk about East Oakland Enterprises, this is the first nigga ever was in the Oakland Tribune. They didn't have no niggas in the Oakland Tribune. Just like in the Washington Post, probably in the 60s. You'd have to jump off the Capitol building with flaming drawers on to get a nigga on in the newspaper in those days.
A major newspaper.
Here's what it is. Remember East Oakland Enterprises and all of that? Khadijah says, way looked up East Oakland Enterprise, there's no such thing. But all the people in Oakland know. That's why it says here, talent agents. You know what Sakina said? I didn't know you was a talent agent. I said, talent agent and everything else. East Oakland Enterprises. Everybody was middle class. All the niggas, 19, 20, and 22 years old, was middle class. Isn't that nice? Ain't nobody else been able to do that. That's one of the main reasons they mad. I want you to just imagine us right here. 8 pieces of property. With them tearing up cars, what else they do? Anything you can imagine. Each day, all day, every day. And we're